Aloha, y'all. It is Tuesday, Tears Day, ruled by Mars. Well, it's not ruled by Mars, but it's a Mars equivalent. Maybe it is ruled by Mars. I don't know off the top of my head. But Tears Day, Tuesday, ruled by Mars. The sun is in Aquarius. The moon is in Cancer. Mercury is in Aquarius. Venus is in Capricorn. Mars is in Taurus. Jupiter and Saturn are in Aquarius. Uranus is in Taurus. Neptune's in Pisces. And Pluto's in Capricorn with the North Node in Gemini. Um, Yeah, it's an intense day already for me. I don't know why. Moon in Cancer is kind of intense emotionality. I know we're in a Mercury pre-retrograde shadow, and also tomorrow, I believe, or soon, is a full moon um, in Leo. So probably not tomorrow, but soon. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. Anyway, so there's a lot of interesting high ratchet energy. Amani, what up? So today in the Mayan dream spell is resonant. Blue self-existing night, guided by self-generation. It is a third eye day, Ajna Chakra day. So be kind of clearing out your mind with the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Cancer. We have this ability to kind of bring up what emotionally triggers us and see it objectively, right? But do the mantras, do the mudras, with do chakra meditations, so to speak, and see where that takes you. It's always been magical when I do it. I'm sure you'll like it when you do it yourself. Let's go ahead and see what we can get on this Tears Day, Tuesday, card wise. Hopefully, you're all doing well. We've got the Five of Pentacles. So, I love tarot because it gives us, it's like the I Ching. There's no good or bad hexagrams, there's no good or bad cards, but there's cards that show us maybe things that we're struggling with collectively and personally. And the Five of Pentacles is one of those cards. It's kind of a not a struggle card, but you'll see what I mean. Five of Pentacles is about examining your own relationship with poverty, looking for disowned treasures within you, heard, fear of not being enough for anyone. That's a big deal right now. So, on page 170, Five of Pentacles, I am desperate and destitute. We can go through life unaware of the astounding beauty and miraculous things which surround us, right there for us to reach out and touch. We rush past a beautiful flowering tree, completely oblivious to its rich and fecund display. We bicker with those we love, unaware of this moment of aliveness, of being conscious in this life, and that it is so fleeting and precious. So many fail to see the wonder which sits within their grasp. Because of this, they experience a deep poverty of awareness. Right, third eye is awareness, so it's like, is your third eye shut? I know mine can be. We experience a deep poverty of awareness, lack of time, lack of support, lack of love, lack of money and resources, when in truth there is no lack, just lack of awareness. I am reminded of the wisdom story of the beggar sitting on a box by the side of the road, begging for 30 years until a passing stranger suggests he open it. When he does, he discovers it is filled with gold. You know, the treasure that we need is always right with us. You know, we lack nothing. It's just our awareness prevents us from seeing what we have already. Our needs are fully met. In the artwork of the Five of Pentacles, two characters are crouched begging for food. They are positioned in front of the Garden of Eden, outcast from paradise, and yet only separated by a slender barbed wire fence. It is well within their reach. The two realities exist side by side, but from the side of lack, they are blinded to the possibility. The figures are slowly disappearing into the graffiti covered boards. Soon, they will recede from view, becoming just another part of the mean streets. The Five of Pentacles asks us to look at our own disowned treasure, while also referring to the very real hypocrisy and unfairness that the world offers. Everybody's a hypocrite, the world is not fair, and yet simultaneously we all have what we need. You see the paradox? It's like the garden exists, but here we are bitching about what, we perceive to be, not happening the way we would want. And the we that wants it is our ego, not our soul. So, there's very real hypocrisy and unfairness in the world. Misery and suffering sit alongside vast wealth and opulence. There's the yin yang. The millions upon millions of people who must survive and support their families on so little. They struggle, they survive, they have lack mentality. While others have so much, Jeff Bezos, whatever. Inequality, isolation, segregation, and ignorance play out around us every single day, and we must decide how we wish to be in the face of this. Sun, Mercury, and Aquarius. Are we going to rise to a position in such a way that we see beyond, we see the whole situation? Aquarius is the highest air. Are we getting a bird's eye view, or are we kind of Cancer moon wallowing in our self pity, wallowing? It's like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so needy. I'm so emotionally charged. Like that happens. So don't even beat yourself up when it happens. Just be aware that it's happening. Knowledge fails, awareness cures. So you could know all these facts about like, oh, the Buddha said this, or Jesus said this, or oh, that psychedelic trip told me this, or whatever. My spirit guide told me this. But it's like, oh, knowledge, data points isn't really what it's about. It's about awareness, highest level, third eye chakra day, right? What actions are you doing with that awareness in the world? Are you applying your knowledge into wisdom? Uh, One of people's greatest fears is to be cast out of their homes, their families, their tribe, and live on the street impoverished. The fear can compel people to generate riches at any cost. That's why prostitution, drug sales, military people join the military sometimes because they're like, I will kill people because I want a paycheck. Right? It's crazy. While others remain caught in the trap of poverty, unable to escape it. It can keep you trapped in a fruitless relationship or move you to create extraordinary things and help many others along the way. The card invites you to consider your own relationship with the issues of poverty, inequality, and unfairness. It also suggests that you acknowledge and actively seek out the phenomenal abundance all around you, feeling it as part of your own being. Traveling to various parts of the world in tremendous poverty and experiencing a lack of bitterness and open generosity, while conversely living in one of the wealthiest parts of London and seeing such lack of generosity, life behind closed gates, made me deeply question my own fears around poverty and isolation, i.e., the people who were the poorest were somehow the most generous and happy. And the people who had all the money and all this gated community wealth stuff tend to just be like Smaug the dragon and just hoard it and be unhappy. And it's like they're not even enjoying the gold. He's just sitting on it and sleeping and yelling when people want to look at it. That's not a good spiritual place to be. To live with an open heart and a generous spirit, no matter what, is a powerful practice. Today I pulled the 55 gene key with Haley, my fiance. Love you, Haley. Which is actually I have a 55, she has a 22 and a 59 and all sorts of programming kind of things. But anyway, the 55 has victim mentality, which is what these guys are feeling, victimhood, victimization, versus freedom. All there is freedom. All that exists is freedom, and then it's our perspective on it. What you're experiencing between your actions, which leads to karma, versus and your dharma, which is like your destiny and your path, like you're experiencing exactly everything you need to be. And it's like, how are you operating in the machine, in the dream? So living with an open heart in a generous spirit, no matter what, is a powerful practice, one which carries the possibility to transform the world we experience. When we open our third eye, we see things as they truly are, heaven on earth. Everything is beautiful. So, Five of Pentacles, examining your own relationship with poverty, looking for disowned treasures within you, fear of not being enough for anyone. Sometimes that's one of the reasons I haven't pursued writing music so much. I'm like, I can't do this that well. Somebody else can do it for, my brother's better songwriting. So, right, that's me being like, oh, I can't do this myself. It's like, maybe not, maybe that's not my role. But the point is, I did write a song once. I've written a few songs, but not many. And one of them was for Haley, for her birthday. And it was not that bad. Right? So I need to trust myself and live with an open mind and an open heart, generous to myself and others, and not just saying, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't know enough, I'm not secure enough, all this stuff. It's like, no. Now that doesn't mean the ride is always easy. Sometimes you find yourself in a place where, my check bounced, or oh my gosh, I'm being evicted, or oh my gosh, this person's breaking up with me, or whatever, right? Like bad things happen, but it's ultimately within the good, the whole of the good. The dream is as it should be. It's all in harmony. Believe it. Open your third eye to that fact. It is a fact. It's not an opinion. Everything is exactly as it needs to be, and always dynamically, because change is constant, moving towards new and different places of where it could potentially be, both in terms of logic and linearity, but also within quantum potentiality. Paradox abounds, I know. So we have a clarifier of the Father. The Father. So number 5, the Father, and this is some Venus and Capricorn kind of energy here. Also, Saturn is a co-ruler of Aquarius, so we've got the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius, which is like, kind of the woke father, if you want to put it that way. Page 44. The Father. Keywords: fatherhood, leadership, authority, protection, responsibility, guidance, support, compassion, and control. Key phrases: the center of power within the family unit, a time for decisive action, a source of strength, not fear. What did your father teach you? Step up and take charge. Guide, instruct, and inspire confidence. Be interested and supportive, not critical. I need to hear that. Ask my fiance. I have a very critical mind, double Gemini, 11th house. But it's like, sometimes like getting all the things understood in a way is it kills the spirit, right? So be interested and supportive. Be interested mentally, Aquarius Sun, and supportive, Cancer Moon, but don't be critical. and just an asshole. The buck stops with you. Fulfill your obligations, allow others their autonomy, share all tasks and responsibilities, and step out of the Stone Age. And I want to point out the paradox of some of these lessons, right? We're saying allow others their autonomy. It's like let other people be themselves. And yet, the next words, share all tasks and responsibilities. You are an individual node in the tapestry of life, and yet all together now, it makes the tapestry work. So the father energy coming in hard with the Five of Pentacles. And that's kind of the tough love we need to snap out of the self-pity. Cancer Moon might just melt and be like, oh, I don't want to do these things. I don't know how to feel. I don't feel secure. I don't know who I am. I'm dealing with this shit too, so don't feel like I'm just mocking anybody out there. This is stuff I'm dealing with, right? And we could sit here and wallow, right? So ultimately we need to get out of the wallowing. But even the wallowing, ironically enough, it serves a lesson, and hopefully we're learning through it. Hopefully it's not too glitchy. I'm going to have to get a new phone or something because this shit ain't working. It's Bobo. Meaning, the father in his ideal form is a strong, confident man who, while not believing that the world revolves around him, is very much the center of the power within the family unit. He represents the family's core strength and unity. He is stillness within the storm, someone who is active in his role of provider, protector, teacher, and leader. The father is a decisive man of action. He teaches not only by instruction, but by example. Don't just talk paths. Everybody could say, this is what I think it is. Do you live your life? And don't worry, everyone's a hypocrite. No one's doing exactly what they say they believe. But walk the path a little. Don't just talk it. He teaches only by instruction, not only by instruction, but by example. He is a man of integrity and honesty, someone who keeps his promises and takes responsibility for his actions. He is the provider, not just of financial security and sustenance, but also of order and discipline. He sets the rules within the family home, and they are not just rules that he sets for others, but he follows himself. Those rules are constants that provide safety and peace within the home, while still allowing all within that space to flourish. He is supportive and encouraging, and also unafraid of play and laughter. Gemini North Node is like have fun too. He inspires curiosity and creativity in others with his positive influence and interest. He is, above all else, interested and affectionate. Right? He's like, what do you guys? Oh, what's the pet doing? What's my pet up to? Oh, what did you get on your grades on your homework, Timmy? What are your after school classes, Jen, or whatever? Honey, is it date night? I'm interested in you. This is the father energy. Interested and affectionate. And with the moon in Cancer, we can be very affectionate right now to ourselves and others. Just don't be a victim. He wants to know his children and shows that he cares. He takes a proactive role in his knowing the children's likes and dislikes, loves and fears, and does all he can to have his children leave the home and the family as confident, happy adults. Most of us are broken, damaged people coming from broken, damaged people, right? And that's not me saying, oh, woe is us. We didn't have the perfect dad. It's like, no, we had the perfect situation we needed. I saw Sorrel saying, that's my dad. It's like, you had the exact dad and your dynamics were exactly what they needed to be. Ask what the lesson is. Aquarius. Don't just say, this isn't what I want, right? Because it is what you want at a subconscious and ultimately quantum level. That's why you experience it. And then our attitude towards these things is what kind of governs. This is an attitude problem. Right? Where it's like, oh my God, I don't have enough. It's like, no, you have exactly what you need, but your attitude, your ego, your perceptions are causing you to distort. And sometimes we need some tough love to be told that, right? I don't, I might come off as a know-it-all. I might come off as a very kind of together person. Trust me, ask my fiance. I have fears, I have insecurities, I have hopes and dreams and fantasies that may never come true. I have, I'm human, right? But also I try to give wisdom through knowledge. And counsel, you could say, that's this energy here, where it's like, are we going to give counsel to ourselves and others, and be firm, just like this is almost like heaven or God or something. It's like it's firmly providing for us, whether or not the kids are being brats, and we could be brats, and this could be like, well, Jimmy stole my toy, and I'm going to punch him, and it's in the back car, backseat of the car fighting, and the dad's like, we're going on vacation, we're actually always awesome, but like you guys are distorting it, right? So sometimes we need that kind of slap in the face from that paternal energy. It's not bad. Now, there's distortions of that. I'm not saying every dad's great, and I'm not, it could be very distorted, right? Positive and negative polarities exist within any archetype. So be careful. You want to be, who was saying, interested. The whole change of heart, ironically, about Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music is that he wasn't interested in his kids and he wanted them to perform a certain way. And then when he accepted them who they were and loved them for who they were, Cancer Moon, when he nurtured them actually, they loved him, he loved her, he found love, he found happiness, right? He became a real father. Instead of saying, Whistle, whistle, my kids aren't enough. Whistle, whistle, oh my gosh, do what I say. And, he was stuck in his ego, and he had to have an ego loss. If you haven't seen The Sound of Music, check it out. It's a really good image of someone having, I gotta cry. Haha, kids are rude. Someone having their ego crushed and broken through the power of music, ultimately. The dad is an asshole, and then he hears his kid singing in a choir for him or whatever, because the nun or whatever, Maria, is teaching them how to sing, and he's like, God damn it, this has touched my heart, and I had my ego in the way so much that I forgot what my heart feels like, and I want to love them, and I don't know my kids. Oh my God, he had an awakening. Aquarius sun, Mercury in Aquarius, epiphany, and he realized he was part of a very fun dream, North Node in Gemini, and that he had been too serious, dogmatic, and rigid, Sagittarius South Node. So every bit of culture has a lesson. That's why we tell ourselves stories through stories. These things resonate at more than just entertainment levels, though they can be entertaining. There's profound, the Tao of the sound of music, you could say, is a thing. That's why I love culture. I can try to find the best. But guys, we're in a time of transition. We're going through quite a bit, embracing transition, right? We're going from a place of, oh my gosh, my political party is losing or winning or whatever, and these guys aren't listening to me. And oh my gosh, no one knows the truth that I know. South Node and Sag. I know the truth, and you guys are fools, right? We're coming from this place of like, I won't have enough. Oh my God, am I going to starve? Oh my gosh, is COVID going to shut down my business? Oh my gosh, everything that's happening is needing to happen, and that's hard for people to fucking like register. It's like even billionaires trying to microchip you or whatever is needing to happen, and we can. That might actually cause us to stand up and say, no, in a very solid way, as opposed to just like, drinking Pepsi and fucking watching MTV and being a consumer of the machine forever and ever, amen. We need to kind of put on tough love. But tough love isn't discompassionate. It's coming from compassion. It's coming from interest. It's like, oh, I care, right? Just because it's masculine doesn't mean it's rigid. Sometimes people think feminine means love and masculine means rules. So it's like, Athena was a woman and she was pretty masculine. Amazonians have their own rules, right? And then men can make some of the, like be like poets and artists and stuff. So it's not, there's no absolute thing. I'm rambling. The point is, we're going through a pole shift. Probably, I know electromagnetically the pole is not at the north fucking pole. It's like over here on Russia or something. It's shifting, right? We're going through a pole shift as within, so without. We're going through a lot of transitions as a species in our galaxy. So let's see what this card has to say. Number 62, but it's okay. That's where it's weird. Instead of saying, oh my God, I'm going through puberty and I have zits and Jenny won't call me because I don't know, my voice cracked. Oh, my voice is cracked. Because my voice cracked. It's like, no, you're exactly where you need to be. You're a sapling. You're not yet a tree, and you're no longer an acorn, right? And that's this kind of staid fatherly energy, the father, where it's like, you need to hear the truth. Even though truth is relative, you need to hear the truth. It's like that. So, embracing transitions. Number 62 on page 101. So this is like facts. Let's learn really quick. Something serious, like school 101. Embracing transition, present timeline, Sirius, number 62. In this time period, the Sirius energy has made an evolutionary transition from fourth to fifth density, which means a shift from physical existence to non-physical existence. Humans are in the process of transitioning from third to fourth dimension, so the guidance of Sirius is essential here. They've already done this. Planetary transition can be a frightening thing because it means leaping into the unknown, right? And when we're really unsure, we sit around with the Five of Pentacles being like, I don't have enough. This is fear-based stuff, right? Because our third eye, Ajna Day, isn't open to the beauty that you were always provided for with exactly what you want and more. And it's your belief in that kind of creates a certain type of feedback loop. That's what manifestation and everything is all about. So if you sit here and go, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, you're manifesting a very negative reality. You're going to be focusing on that, whether it's the truth or not. So we're transitioning from a species who focuses on all the division, focuses on all our separation, focuses on ourselves over others, and we're going to come to a place where it's like, wow, we were really brats, and we had to go through puberty as a species, and now we love, now we're acceptant. It'll be more like more woke. That's what 3 to 4D means. We're going from like animals to angels, basically. Personally, you are also making a transition to a new level of consciousness. It is important to embrace this transition and trust its process, even if you can't clearly see where it leads, right? Don't hide behind that fence and say, I don't know, lack mentality. Be like, everything is in its right place. Thank you. Gratitude and acceptance. The energy of Sirius can help you with this process. There are many levels to the guidance represented by this card. Energetically, it connects to the time period in which the Sirius moved from 4 to 5 density, from physicality to non-physicality. At this time, humans are moving from third to fourth density, realities and on their way to integration. This is a huge transition for our planetary species. If this card came up and you're reading it, it's reminding you that you two are going through a huge transition in your consciousness as you walk on your spiritual journey. Sometimes this transition creates a lot of fear because you are walking into the unknown. In that case, it becomes essential to embrace this transition even if you cannot see the outcome. For some people, this card comes up in readings when they have experienced the death of someone close and are struggling with the guilt or grief about it. No matter the circumstance, the underlying message is always open your arms and your heart to transition, right? That's what some of the advice in the Five of Pentacles was saying. It's like, if you have an open heart and an open mind, you will see the beauty that is there. If you close off your heart and close off your mind, you will still be part of the beauty. You will never leave the beauty. You all is one, but you will be in your prison. You will be a prisoner. It's like Creed. It's like, I created my own prison or whatever. It's like, yeah, you'll separate yourself. So don't get hung up on the transitions. No matter the circumstances, so it doesn't matter if you're starving to death, whatever. Auschwitz, it could be very bad, or you could be Jeff Bezos. Doesn't really matter. No matter the circumstances, the underlying message is always open your arms and your heart to transition. Change is constant. The book of change is the I Ching. Life is full of transitions, and when they are resisted, we suffer. Let me repeat that. Life is full of transitions, and when we resist, and when those transitions are resisted, when we're like, I don't know, which is natural, just like, it happens all the time. If someone's like, come on up here, and you're like, you get stage fright or something like that, right? Like, we resist things, even though they're good. No matter the circumstance, the underlying message is always open your arms and mind to transition. Life is full of transitions, and when they are resisted, we suffer. We can lessen our suffering if we kind of let yourself embrace them as a natural part of life and an essential aspect of our spiritual evolution. That's the true. That's the deep wisdom. It's all by design, folks. We're in God's hands, if you want to put it that way. Don't fret. Look, it's all whole. It's a Garden of Eden. But they're sitting here going, I don't have that one apple that I want, Eve. Oh my God, let's go eat it. Let's go fuck all this up. It's like, God's like, you have everything you want. I've just made some rules. Don't do that. Right? But hey, that was a transition. The fall is a transition. The fall from, animal consciousness into human consciousness, human into fourth density, whatever that is, ultimately into, transdimensional alien angelic energy. That's where humans will go. We're transitioning towards that. But we tend to focus on what we don't have. I'm guilty of this. Trust me. I'm always like, my God, there's certain things in my life I've waited my whole life for, and I complain about it. And then there's certain things I've never expected, and I have. Like, I never expected to find Haley. She found me. I thought I might hook up, over the course of my life and have fun exchanges with women at that level, but I was pretty committed to the idea that I would be a bachelor my whole life. And now I have a wife and someone I care about very deeply. Wisdom. Can't make this shit up. 4, because we're getting a lot of wisdom today, right? We're being told changes happen, and it's like, okay, deal with it. And ultimately, it's for the glory of God, for our good. Whoa, in a sense. My brother's sending me a bunch of fucking stuff, I guess, music files on my other phone. Oh, but of course, I've got to turn off my notifications, or else that's going to happen. Haley, I asked him for some songs, and there he is, giving me songs. God is on our side. The architect wants us to thrive in this machine, but sometimes we find ourselves low on coins, low on life bar, low on MP, whatever, XP, and we're like, God damn it, I want to be more. It's like, no, we're here for the journey. It's a transition. Changes, we're here for that. But the wisdom is what we're getting. 4 of Owl. So open your third eye. Athena came out of the brow of Zeus, third eye. And we'll talk about Athena in a second. So we've got a lot of resonances already. Hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. That's all I got to say about that. Ow. Yeah, that did make me feel like jump at the bell, right? Yeah. And that's, ironically, Sorrel's saying the right thing. We get notifications and our adrenals jump and all stuff. Like, we're being programmed by the tools we use, so be very careful. I just turn off my setting, check them once a day or something like that. Don't just sit there and respond to everything. I'm guilty of doing it. Trust me, that's why I have a digital reality with a fucking podcast and Team Rabbit Hole and everything, because I respond in real time. But that also makes it so I'm not like living my life in another way. So wisdom. Open your eyes and see what is really there. Guys, can you make this shit up? Open your eyes, see what's really there. 5 of Pentacles, right? Oh, that's dope, Amani. I've heard owls hooting around here, and I don't normally hear them, so they're around. Open your eyes and see the abundance. It's always abundance. There is no scarcity. Scarcity is a lesson over the transition of your consciousness from ignorance to awareness. It's a realization. That's what epiphany is. That's what gnosis is. That's what enlightenment is. It's not like you get to the top of a mountain and you say, I'm better than everybody. You just have a realization. You realize what you are in the dream. You come to a wise, have a wisdom moment. Open your eyes and see what is really there. Look for the whole truth, as you may only be seeing part of the whole. Look for the whole truth. North Node and Gemini. Don't just think you have one aspect of it and that's all there is. South Node and Sag. Through experience, we can gain the wisdom to not make the same mistakes again. We're here to get cut up and beat up and scraped. Now, do you want to keep repeating that and just, end up being in a fucking loop? Probably not. So learn from the mistakes. Learn from the positive stuff too. Develop your learning and intelligence, as education is never wasted. Negotiation is better than attack. As a Mars in Cancer, I fully agree. It's better to negotiate and talk and nurture, essentially, Moon Cancer, and use your head, Aquarius, Sun, and Mercury, than to just attack with the sword, Aries energy, or Scorpio energy, or whatever, Leo energy. Mythos. The Greek goddess Athena was a virgin daughter of Zeus, and it is her name that the Greeks gave to their harbor city, i.e. Athens. Beautiful, strong, refined, and very rational. Third eye chakra day, right? Very rational. Athena thoughtfully encouraged and led her human subjects and mentored her favorite heroes. The ancient Greeks loved Athena, and many complex temples were built in her honor. Her mythos states that she was born from Zeus's brow and later sat by his side in Olympus for all decision-making. A goddess with many attributes, including weaving, scholastic attainment, and intelligence and philosophy and oil production. There was very little that Athena could not influence. Very Aquarian energy. She's a genius. She's a master of anything she puts her mind to, basically. Her avatar, an owl, symbolizes her reputation for wisdom. It was said that this very modern goddess had a cool beauty and that her eyes were, quote, bright and observed everything, just as an owl would, giving her a reputation for total watchfulness. In her early form, she was also the goddess of the night, so having a nocturnal bird as her avatar makes rational sense, right? We're talking about very much the father. We're talking about she came from Zeus, the all-father, right? Father card is the clarifier. She came from the brow of Zeus and basically was a very masculine, rational kind of femininity. She wasn't Venus or Aphrodite, right? So rational sense is saying. It was said that even as a younger goddess, Athena sought out the whole truth, North Node and Gemini. I want all the answers. I want all the opinions. I want all the facts. I want all the myths. I want all the lies. Not just like I have the truth and I'm not moving. Sagittarius, South Node. She wanted all sides of a situation before she made a decision. She very much Aquarius, Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn. She wants to get the big picture, right? Mentally. She knew owls had incredible vision and did not miss much, so she decided to always have an owl on her with her if she could keep an eye out on her blind side. And we all have blind sides. That's even what this is showing. It's perfect that we even have a blind side, but are we focused on like, I can't see that? That's what accountability is for. That's what partners are for. That's what like teamwork is for. So we can remember the one is in the all and the all is in the one. Open your third eye. The animal. Owls are found on every continent except for the polar caps and are normally one of the apex predators of a region. They famously have big eyes situated in the front of their heads and are mainly nocturnal. As hunters, the ability to perceive prey in low light or darkness is of vital importance, as these birds have evolved to do this very well. They can open their eyes even when it's dark and they feel separate from their environment. They can see. It almost looks like an owl, or three owls, really, in a very weird way. They can, and then I'm even seeing another owl. It's like, oh look, there's a big owl eyes. Anyway, you see what you want to see, I guess, right? Ultimately, the owl isn't letting the limitations of the dark prohibit it. It's evolved to a place where it can see bigger. It's transitioning from light to dark with its dilation of its pupils. As hunters, the ability to perceive prey in low light or darkness is of vital importance, and these birds have evolved to do this very well. Transitional phase. They've evolved. We're always changing. They weren't always like this. The eyes are placed within a feathered facial disc that acts as a kind of capture shape to direct sounds into the ears. The eyes do not move much, so the head can swivel almost 360 degrees in some species. Interestingly, a large proportion of owls have an asymmetrical placement of ears, which helps them exactly pinpoint their prey. Owls are also incredibly silent, both sitting and in flight. They have neck ruffles that muffle the sound of their head turning, and their wing feathers have serrated ends that enable them to swoop down on their prey with virtually no sound whatsoever. Coming from above, like Aquarius, the high to low. The owl is best associated with Athena and her little owl is the Athena noctua, which it was often depicted with her in artworks. These birds have quite distinctive big yellow eyes and are framed with startling white eyebrows. The magic. The use of owl magic is an ancient practice. The energy is used in cultures as diverse as ancient Greek and Roman to Northern European and First Nations to the Americas. Use owl magic when you seek wisdom in a situation and perhaps you are not seeing the whole truth and wish to do so, right? Are we being blinded, and we will be, Five of Pentacles, by our egos, by our lack of, are we just sitting here looking at our wounds and saying, I can't walk, and it's like, actually just use that stick as a crutch and then walk a little slower, right? It's always perfect, and there's always opportunities for improvement and refinement, but guess what? We might focus on the problem instead of the solution, essentially. So when we seek wisdom in a situation and perhaps we're not seeing the whole truth, we're behind that fence of separation, and we wish to do so, pop out into the fullness of being with the owl magic. And owl magic is helpful when you cannot make a decision or when you need to take a rational view of an emotionally charged situation. I know that happens a lot. People get, like, oh my gosh, the politics, blah, 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 or oh my gosh, my bank account, or oh my gosh, my love life. It's like, try to get a rational view. I do this naturally, and I get criticized for being a robot sometimes. Just try to get the big picture view, right? That doesn't mean to be discompassionate. The father card was saying, he still cares and gives a shit about his kids. He's not just Mr. Von Trapp saying, do as I say. He's like, I love you. This is a picture of a father that is not broken in a human way. Symbology is a frontal-shaped large eye with discs around them. Athena holding an owl, talons, the colors silver and yellow. Status, Athena noctua is of least concern, but some owls are on the endangered species list. So, are we able to see beyond our circumstance? Are we able to kind of straight up see things as they are with see things beyond with a third eye open, as opposed to being emotionally charged about things? Now that might sound very kind of pragmatic, stoic, whatever, very father energy, but these are the ways in which we can thrive during our transitions. If we were just to react emotionally, that's why tribes have warred for so long. They just go, well, I have a beautiful wife, and then someone goes, well, I want what you have, and then they kill him for it, and they're like, now you're my beautiful wife, and this is like, oh, you raped me, I need a hero, and somebody else saved her. Perpetual. That's a weird story. It's kind of like Helen of Troy story summed up quickly, but if we're going to rise above our animal instincts, which aren't bad, they're there. They're part of the fucking dream, and they separate us in a certain way. Like, you have a reptilian part of your brain, you have limitations of cognition, you have limitations of all sorts of stuff. But ultimately, can we transcend that and accept? Can we tap into Wu Wei, which is playfulness at the highest level? Quite frankly, openness. So, let's get an art oracle card. I still haven't decided if I want to play a song or jam. Any thoughts? You guys want to hear some electric jams? Do you want to hear me cover a song? I don't really care. My brother, I almost should hit play and let you guys hear what my brother's music sounds like. It's crazy. It's amazing. I hope to be a part of it at some level. Caravaggio. This is a pretty heavy thing. Heavy guy. Italian artist. By today's standards, Caravaggio would have a medical diagnosis. A genius, Sun in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius. He was also belligerent and homicidal, right? His frequent travelers were due to law evasion, not wanderlust. So he wasn't North Node Gemini having a fun time. He was like, I just fucking killed somebody and I've got to run. Plague left him a young orphan, so tragedy, right? He lost his father, right? It was a part of his embracing a transition. Plague left him, what? Over here, bereft. It's like, it had to happen. It's part of the cards. Everyone's karma allowed it, whatever. People asked for this lesson, etc., etc. But it's like he was thrown into the street, right? Plague left him an orphan. Immense talent won him high society's patronage. And that genius is very much the Aquarius sun. Like his life, his paintings are passionate and bloody contrasts. Light and dark, innocence and brutality with lots of severed heads. North Node and Gemini paradox, duality, yin and yang. And this is the severed head example with David with the head of Goliath. While killing it professionally, Caravaggio, and that's Venus in Capricorn, crushing it professionally, Caravaggio literally killed a pimp. He then made his final masterpieces as a fugitive and died shortly after being jumped by a vengeful assailant who busted his face and eyesight. Classic Caravaggio. So look, what a life, right? And he was on the run and all this stuff. If he had just been a little more accepting and probably more chill, he maybe would have tapped into a deeper wisdom. But I can't judge Caravaggio. He had the life that he chose to live, right? So there we are. Very violent, kind of weird life. I don't know if it'll come through. I'll check. And if it's not, I'll maybe post some of the link or something. It's great. It's like, I mean, he's got Fleet Fox type music. He's got Daft Punk type music. Hundreds of songs. Best drummer I know. He's my little brother. It happens to be, right? I'm like, wow, I'm really blessed. Personally, right? It's like, holy shit, I hit the lottery. And then I sit around going, well, we don't have a music room. Well, we don't have time. He's trying to get his degree, and I'm sitting around trying to do relationships and like podcasts and stuff, right? So we need to tap into the higher wisdom and be like, this is a tool for my soul's evolution and his too. Anyway, Caravaggio, try to keep violence metaphorical, right? Because we're violent to ourselves. Violence is always misunderstanding, basically. Violence is ego based. There, in some weird way, I mean, in the animal kingdom, the wisdom of nature is, crocodiles will eat the deer, but they're not tripping out like in real ways. Like that's all perfect. They're in the garden of their perfect mechanics. Whereas we're like, I want what they have. I don't have enough. I want that purse. I want that car. I want that. I don't want a purse. I'm just thinking women want like what, like fucking certain handbags and shit. And everyone's not saying, I have my breath. I have the ability to think. Oh my gosh. But it's okay. We're in a transitional period as basically a selfish, immature species moving towards godhood, if you want to put it that way. And that's how the Father has designed it in its infinite wisdom. I mean, if you want to take a Christian lens, it's like we're exactly in the machine that we need to be, experiencing the exact stuff we need to. If you want to be a Buddhist, it's like, like you will be your own bodhisattva and come into a wisdom. Whatever. The lens doesn't necessarily matter. But try to keep the violence metaphorical, right? Sagittarius, South Node, everyone is on a crusade right now. And they say, my truth is true and fuck you. It's like everyone's going to cut each other up. And I mean, this is like how it feels right now. People are like, this is like, basically liberal Democrats in America. And they're saying, look at those revolutionary Q types. We got them. It's like, yo, we're all in this together. Try to be a little more chill. Let the angels come in and grace you with their wisdom, right? Because we're sitting around saying, because we have such internal damage that we're projecting that out there and saying they're the bad guy. It's like we have to look at ourselves. And when we start realizing we're perfect and God looks at us as perfect and everything is perfect as it is, we come into a place of gratitude and acceptance. And that gratitude and acceptance rips apart that delusion of separation. That is what kicks us into high gear on our transitional phase as an evolutionary creature. That is what takes knowledge and facts and turns it into wisdom, right? And makes it applicable when we're actually parenting ourselves from the highest position, both nurturing, like, Cancer moon, but also like being a genius engineer, Aquarius sun, and saying, hell yeah, you are a biochemical machine here to experience ups and downs. Go for it, right? Try to keep your violence, whether it's self-hate, self-mutilation, self-loathing, or loathing of others, loathing of that person who's my enemy and they're my nemesis and I'm going to kill them, or that group is the worst, fuck them. Slytherin sucks, we're Gryffindor, that kind of shit. Keep it metaphorical. Do not make it real. And the more you kind of relegate it to the places of the mind, you can kind of analyze it and then realize how stupid you're being and then hopefully evolve out of there. So let's get one more card. Oh, I know. Sorrel. I'll post some links in here of he's the best drummer. I'm not just saying that. We got into music at the same time. It's kind of funny. I was going, very Cancer Moon story here. I was going through a clinical depression in 7th grade where I was asking the big questions. Aquarius, Sun, Sun in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius. I'm in 11th house, Gemini, Sun and Moon. I was asking all these questions like, why am I here? I was feeling very distraught, very disconnected. Why am I here? What's going on? I don't like this. This hurts. And then I went into my dad's closet and found a guitar and started teaching myself. And then that was about 8th grade. And my brother got drums, and ever since then, he's toured America. He's made hundreds of songs. He's literally the best drummer I know. I'm a good guitarist. I'm not the best guitarist I've ever heard. I don't claim to be, but I have a lot of fun, and it's a way I express myself, right? So I speak my wisdom verbally, but words can happen also through art. Yay. The Father has blessed me with quite a bit. So, and if we're blessed, we're here to be a blessing. It's not just about hoarding the wealth. It's not just about being smug and saying, well, I kick ass and you guys fucking suck. That's the ego. And I've dealt with that. When my brother would play drums on stage with other people, I'd sit there heartbroken and be like, you were supposed to be playing with me. That's my ego telling me a story. I should have been like, hell yeah, other people are seeing his talent. Hell yeah, he's having fun. See? I was being not wise. Very unwise, right? So we have amethyst, one of my favorite stones. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It says what it is. Amethyst is a lilac to dark purple semi-precious gemstone from the quartz family. The ancient Romans believed amethyst got its lush purple color when the god Bacchus spilled wine on a clear stone. Today, amethyst is believed to assist in connecting with the big guy in the sky. Oh, you mean father energy, Zeus, and his third eye popping out Athena, creating wisdom, right? Tapping into the big guy in the sky. I just realized my mom's vacuuming. so I gotta hurry. Probably play electric guitar then because it'll be loud enough. But the big guy in the sky is everything is awesome, and we're here down here distracted. So amethyst is believed to assist with connecting with the big guy in the sky. Who needs it? Train wrecks who go off the rails on the wet and wild route to Bacchanalia. Any Pisces, right? So people who are hedonists. If you've ever heard of the story of the prodigal son, this is very about prodigal son. And he's in the pigsty eating the shit and saying, oh my God, I wish I had it all. And the father's at home being like, where's my son? I want him to come back. I love him no matter what. Right? And when this person gets out of their fucking ego trip and their selfishness and goes home, they're reunited with what? Can you say it with me now? The Father. Right? And they've embraced the transition. They've said, I was a fool. God, of all the times, right? I was a fool and now I've come to my senses. Third eye, my eyes have opened. I don't have to, I'll be a slave with my father as opposed to just some guy eating pigsty. And the dad's like, actually, you don't have to be a slave at all. I love you so much. Come over here. We'll have a party. Right? North Node and Gemini. So, train wrecks who go off the rails on the wet and wild route to Bacchanalia, any Pisces. Where to put it? The interior decorator's little purple secret. Amethyst can uplift and lift the vibe of any living space. When to use it? When it's time to give up the victim routine. This is the 55 gene key, victimization, Haley, right? Into freedom. The freedom is here. This is the victimization. When it's time to give up this story and say, I don't have enough. I don't get my way. This isn't what I wanted. Oh my gosh, what if? Oh my God, all this stuff. It's exactly when it's time to give up that victim routine and start living with purpose. Hold on tight to amethyst. It says get drunk on your higher self. That's the third eye action. That's the wisest thing you can do, right? When you tap into your higher self, the father mode, and you're not any longer, violent towards yourself or others. That's true wisdom. Acceptance is wisdom. Gratitude is wisdom. Everything else is folly in a sense, but it's okay. We're part of embrace the transition. We're going from ignorant ape things to angels. It's just how it works. And the kingdom of God is within. But are we, cut off? Like, oh God, you see me as naked and not enough? It's like, no, I love you. Right? You're perfect the way you are. So when you want to get drunk on your higher self, tap into amethyst. So, because it is loud, I hear all this vacuuming. I'm going to play my electric guitar, but I didn't set up any of this for my electric guitar because I didn't know what I was going to do. Yay, indecision. So give me about, 10 seconds to set all this up. And I guess it'll be ready. And if you've been enjoying this, share it, tag people, whatever's clever. All right. I am so not ready for this. I'm going to plug things up. But with the card being the Five of Pentacles, even me saying this, I'm so not ready. It's like, no, that's not true. Jim, people get to watch you get ready. It's okay. It is okay. So, let's play some music. I do think it's ironic that they decided to vacuum, but hey, you get to see me practicing when I preach, where it's like, I don't want them to vacuum, but I accept it, kind of thing. All right. So, Five of Pentacles with the Father. So it's about dealing and reconciling with disappointment, ultimately with the love of the Father, if you want to get Christian about it. But it's like we're held. The mother and the father, gender doesn't matter. We're held by God. We're never outside of love. We're perfectly imperfect. But we don't feel that way, so some blues maybe is in order. You get the idea. It's kind of what we make it, in this sense. The blues isn't all that bad, and it can be positive. That was, bluesy, if you want to put it that way, but it wasn't just like, woe is me, oh my god, I lost my job blues, right? So, because it's about perspective, it's what we make it. Everything's awesome. Are we focused on the wrong stuff? Are we not allowing transitions to occur? Are we holding on to whatever, relationships, habits, perspectives that aren't serving us? All in good time, we rise to a place ultimately where we need to be, so don't think it won't happen, right? Wisdom comes to those who ask for it. It's like a bird in the night. It'll come when you least expect it, right? Try to keep your violence metaphorical. Don't hurt yourself, don't hurt others, right? Don't let these divisions cause you to stress. And we get so fucking stressed. So tap into amethyst, right? And ultimately get drunk on your higher self. Higher self is love. Higher self is, wisdom. Higher self is order with compassion. It's both, right? It's not just one or the other. The higher self says, it's okay, you're going through transitions. It's okay, you won't always be broke. But even if you're broke, it's okay, you're rich and you're lonely. It's okay, you're in love, but you don't feel loved. It's okay, you're single and you crave for a relationship, whatever. The division is in your mind, it's all good. Try to tap into that wisdom. And ultimately with amethyst, tap into your higher self, knowing it's all good. It doesn't always feel that way. Maybe we don't believe it in our heads, but it's the truth. So, holler for readings if you want. I love giving them. People love getting them. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast. It's great. We've got over 200 episodes. Famous people, normal people, every kind of person. Love it. And you'll probably find some value there too. And ultimately, guys, enjoy the fucking ride. Because if we sit here and say, that wasn't the left turn I wanted on the roller coaster, you're not enjoying the roller coaster. If you're sitting there saying, this popcorn tastes weird, you're not watching the movie, right? That doesn't mean things don't go according to plan always. Hold on loosely and it won't hurt you, it won't crush you. Your expectations won't rip your heart out and rip up your mind and cause you to go crazy. Hopefully that makes sense. So, adios, have a beautiful day. Tuesday, and try to be the change you want to see in the world. Start with yourself and blossom like a lotus out into the ever-expanding present moment that is. Adios. Bye.